When I mention the gods, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For the majority of the population, you may immediately think of the very popular Greek, Norse, Egyptian, or even Mesopotamian pantheons. Though for those of us that are more nerdily cultured, we know that that is not where it ends. Fantasy settings like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, any remotely recent fantasy anime with more than 3 towns worth of world building, and of course, D&D. And one god that's gotten a significant boost in searches of who TF is that, thanks to the saving grace of the games industry Baldur's Gate 3, is Mystra, the mother of magic, employer of multiple millennia of powerful archmages, the goddess who decided this guy was sexy enough to get down and divine with. Seriously, the whole golden retriever thing really does work, huh? But other than being the goddess of magic and part of the reason Gale has a bomb in his chest, who is and was Mystra? Let's find out. Unlike many gods in the real world, something that's a common trope in fantasy settings is someone starting as a human and becoming a god, though we can't say it never happened in real life because Hercules is right there. And while that is a part of Mystra, it was less a part of Mistril. This is where I'll just say straight up, the gods are complicated. They often adopt other names, epithets, aspects, avatars, etc. To put it in the simplest way possible, and the gods never make anything simple, Mistral was the goddess of magic during the era of Karsus. You know, that guy who made the flying city and tried to take the power of the goddess of magic without realizing that turning off the fuse box might, send his magic city crashing? After he successfully used a spell to attack the goddess of magic, she had to sacrifice herself in order for the weave to stay intact, and the world to not go more to shit than it already was. A few more shenanigans later, and she magically reincarnates into this mortal girl, who then becomes the goddess Mystra. Well, the first time. Let me explain. In current D&D lore, there have been 3 incarnations of Mystra. The first goddess Mistril, who was the goddess of magic during Karsus' folly. The second Mystra, just actually named Mystra, whose main claim to fame was during the time of Troubles, when she had her shit absolutely rocked by Helm, presumably the god of equal rights and equal lefts. And her most recent incarnation, Midnight, who, for sake of mortals not having to change the name of their goddess again, just adopted the name Mystra. Now, when you realize the current Mystra used to be mortal, the willingness to sleep with Gale makes a lot more sense. The Goths always go for the golden retrievers. And this actually kind of reflects how deities work in the real world. Although obviously in D&D the gods are characters who we know exist and we don't really have to question their existence or whether the one religion is right over another, it's all just about which god fit most into your life, which again makes sense. In Greece, you weren't really going to find yourself worshipping Hephaestus unless you were a smith of some kind. But even if you were, you'd still be conscious of other gods who played lesser roles in your life. Even if he's your patron deity, you would still pray to Aphrodite before your first date, Hera to ensure a healthy marriage, Dionysus for the drinks to absolutely hit, etc. And as far as the multiple incarnations thing, well, that too has happened in the real world. For an example, just look at any god that existed from pre-ancient Greece and continued up until the Romans. Other, more educated channels have gone into that topic more in depth. I'm not educated, I'm just a nerd who likes tabletop games and runs a sentient library. But with all that nerdiness out of the way, let me give you the story of how Mystra ended up on the receiving end of Helm's gauntlets. This was the time of troubles. The overgod Ao had banished almost every single deity from the heavens and forced them to live as mortals in Toro, mostly because of the constant scheming, arguing, and stealing of the sacred tablets of fate. Mystra's incarnation was one of those gods who was now having to live a mortal life and was having a less than stellar time, dealing with the chaos of, gasp, mortal emotions. I feel you there, Mystra. After a bit of time living as a mortal, being captured and tortured by Bane, no, not that one, she managed to regain some of her power, enough to start climbing up the stairway to heaven, but the door was blocked by the god of paladins, Helm. She begged with Helm, pleaded with him, tried to assault him with literally all of her power, and while she did seem to present valid arguments like, if I die, magic will go absolutely insane again, Helm was bound by his word and his oath. And after offering to tell Ao himself, Mystra insisted she had to be the one to do it, which kind of cracked his heart a bit. Now, Helm deserves a video of his own, honestly, just because I kind of like the guy. This is one of the few times where we see in him something that is a powerful trait of many paladins. Do they go with their own beliefs, or stick to their oaths all the way till the end? Now, while Helm believed Mystra wasn't the problem as far as the deities were concerned, trust me, there are far worse ones. He did have a job to do, and Ao's exact words were, "Let no gods pass." So when Mystra tried to force herself past Helm, he lifted his visor, and in his eyes she saw her inevitable doom, whatever that means. And with a heart broken that he's gotta do what he's gotta do, he punches Mystra so hard, she freaking explodes. What a hell of a punch. Which, as she kinda guessed would happen, led to an even darker period of the Time of Troubles. But that can be its own video some other day. But that's pretty much how Mystra went from being a physical embodiment of the weave and a primordial goddess to a goth chick with infinite magic and a golden retriever X. What a crazy evolution of character. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys giving my channel the time of day if you made it all the way here. I don't know what I was thinking, becoming a content creator in 2025, but you know what? We make decisions, and I kind of hope this works out. I don't really know what else to say. There are 4 other videos ready for you guys to watch, and I hope you guys enjoy every single bit of all of these videos. I kind of freestyle these outros off the top of my head, so I have no idea what I'm yapping about. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, and do all those things that make the YouTube algorithm happy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.